No need to mess around about what's coming up in this video here from GPFans, because you know exactly what it's going to be. The first real aggressive laps driven in anger as qualifying for the Miami Grand Prix took place this Saturday. So let's just dive into all of the action that went down on track, and remember to subscribe down below to stay abreast of everything that goes on this weekend and this season in Formula 1. Charles Leclerc spearheaded a Ferrari 1-2 in qualifying for the inaugural Miami Grand Prix as a late mistake from Max Verstappen wrecked the Red Bull driver's chance of pole. The qualifying started without Esteban Ocon after crashing heavily in final practice. Ocon hit the wall hard, causing heavy damage to the left-hand side of his A522 after rotating 180 degrees. His sashi was cracked in the impact with the barrier and couldn't be changed in time. Ocon, however, is physically fine and will be able to race on Sunday, thankfully. It was always going to be a shootout between Verstappen and Leclerc, and the Monegasque driver seemed to have the edge over his title rival after finishing quickest in Q1 and Q2. For Ferrari, it's their first front row lockout since 2019 at the Mexico Grand Prix, with Sainz making only his second front row start. Red Bull's Sergio Perez will join his teammate on the second row of the grid, with the Mexican ahead of Valtteri Bottas following another superb qualifying performance from the Alfa Romeo driver. Max Verstappen has conceded his Miami qualifying competitiveness was a big surprise after a truncated preparation on Friday for the Miami Grand Prix. Overall, I am of course pretty pleased with qualifying, said Verstappen. I literally did 4 or 5 laps yesterday, so today the whole day was trying to learn the track, try to find a decent balance in the car, and actually to be that competitive in qualifying, it was actually a surprise. It is not an easy track to learn. Of course you want to be on pole, but where we have come from, we have done a good job. The mechanical issues on Friday followed a retirement in Australia for Verstappen and a double DNF for the team at the season opening Bahrain Grand Prix, although they did of course have that exceptional weekend at Imola last time out. It is always going to be tricky, continued the Dutchman, but we have a good chance for tomorrow. We have a good top speed, the car is handling quite well, so I'm looking forward to that. Elsewhere, despite early practice promise from Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton could only manage 6th to join his former teammate Valtteri Bottas on the third row of the grid for the Miami Grand Prix. Initially on track late, George Russell's first attempt resulted in him backing out as twice he had to save the car as it squirmed underneath him as it hit the bumps of the circuit. The second time around, however, Russell was able to set a time. It was 0.045 seconds, though, behind Pierre Gasly, leaving him with a real fight on his hands outside of the top 10 to preserve his record of being the only driver to finish in the top 5 in all 4 races this season. Over the radio, Russell said, "Sorry about that, it wasn't good enough. I just didn't have confidence in the car today." Surprisingly, given his form this season, Kevin Magnussen failed to make it into Q2 for Haas, outqualified by his teammate Mick Schumacher for a second time, with a third of a second between the pair. Charles Leclerc is expecting a tight challenge from Red Bull in the Miami Grand Prix after stealing pole position from Max Verstappen at the death of qualifying. "Well, yeah, they are extremely quick in straight lines," said Leclerc after his fantastic pole lap, talking about Red Bull. "We are quick in the corners, it will be a tight challenge tomorrow and hopefully we will come back on top." Sainz's second for the team was a superb rebound from the latest in a series of mistakes from the Spaniard with a heavy crash earlier in the weekend at turns 13 and 14 in second practice. Building from a pretty heavy crash yesterday, it wasn't easy at all to get the confidence back at such a difficult circuit like this new one in Miami, said Carlos Sainz. "But I kept it cool until Q3. I think I pulled out a couple of good laps, not quite enough for pole position, but given from where I was coming from yesterday, I will take it." So both Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen pleased after difficult starts to their weekends in Miami, but will either of them be able to contest with Charles Leclerc for the race victory come Sunday? Let us know in the comments section below. Hit subscribe here and stay abreast of all the action in Miami on gpfans.com, GPFans Global on Twitter and Instagram as well, and wherever else you get our content. and we will keep you up to date with all of the action on an important racing Sunday.